Hey there, guys, it's that time of the week. UNTV. Let's find out what we've all been watching. UNTV.
That was pretty great. It was cutting out a little bit, but I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for everyone to hear. Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of UNTV, where we are trying to figure out what the hell is going on WandaVision. And with me today, we got Munch. What did you think of this week's episode?
Hello. I have some questions. I'm just going to say it. It seems like a Truman Show type situation that's happening, but possibly something that Wanda has built to keep herself and maybe Vision safe.
Possibly.
That's
And
that's
Cake,
my thoughts.
Cake, what are you thinking after this week's episode?
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's really she's in control. It seems like Hydra or something else is has taken over a town, but she still has some level of power. I don't know. It's weird.
And Zoe, what are you thinking after this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty much thinking the same in terms of I think she is the one who's doing this. And I think it's definitely like it's been proven that it's pretty much an actual town that she's like my theory is that she's taking it over, but no one else seems to know. But that's kind of I'm sticking to that one now.
I'm leaning to a similar direction, at least insofar as I think it is her powers doing this, but I think it might end up being someone taking advantage of her powers in some way, like somehow tricking her into this. I think there's more at play than it just being as simple as she is purposely doing this. I want to actually start off with a new segment I think could be great to this. What is everyone's favorite opening so far? We've gotten a different opening to this show every week, or all three episodes. I guess it's only been 2 weeks. How's everyone's feeling about these
All
things?
of those.
I did not like the whole pregnancy storyline, so I didn't really care about this opening at all. I mean, the color in like the color was really neat to have switched from the first 2 weeks, but I guess I'm not choosing a favorite. I'm just saying I didn't really like this episode a whole lot. I don't know.
Not talking about the episode as a whole, but like the
No, I know.
song and okay,
Yeah,
just making
no.
sure.
No, I wasn't a fan.
I don't remember the first episode. I'm blanking on what it was.
Neither do I. I remembered the second one was my favorite, but that's probably because I don't remember the first one.
The first one was really
Yeah.
just like semi-musical narrative of here's the couple, they've come to town, they're trying to fit in kind of stuff. It was just basically explaining the premise of the show in a kind of musical way. The second one was very much Bewitched, and now this one we got the Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like the second one.
The Bewitched one might be actually up there for
Same.
me as well.
Mhm.
And coming up next, what is everyone's feelings on what's going on with sorry, I'm just gonna hunt Geraldine, because that is where this episode is ending, and me and Zoe are gonna mostly shut up on this whole
Yeah,
topic.
I can't talk on that one.
But Munch
I
and
know.
Cake, if you guys want to say what you think is going on with Geraldine here.
First of all, how do you guys already know what the answer is?
Because the
If
internet is stupid.
yeah,
Okay,
And
fair.
spoilers are everywhere, and we've been told things that we did not necessarily want to know.
yeah,
Okay.
basically there was some casting announcements made, but not only for this show, but about future things. And if you know about those announcements, you know what's going on with Geraldine to some extent. But I would love to hear what you guys think without this knowledge.
Now Geraldine was in the second episode as well, correct?
Correct.
The
This
same
is her
person?
second one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we learned a lot more about her in this episode. Well, we had her whole story about at her work and whatnot, but then we come to find out from their neighbor and other neighbor that that's not necessarily true. She's not who she says she is, or she's new to town and she has no home, which I thought was weird. And it was a weird fact for them to bring up.
Mhm.
And then her
Mhm.
necklace. And that symbol was
The sword logo.
right. And what is that again?
They are another agency like Shield, but not Shield.
So she,
Outer space.
right. So then she's a sword agent from space. Kate thinks she's from space. I don't think she's from space, but she must be a sword agent that was somehow able to infiltrate whatever's happening, the world that obviously Wanda has created, whether it was on her own free will to protect herself or at the push from someone else. Geraldine's been able to infiltrate and maybe was trying to influence certain events, or yeah, that's my hot take, which probably
And
isn't a hot take. It seems fairly obvious.
Cake, where are you going with this? Are you kind of on the same page?
Yeah, mostly on the same page. I don't know. The fact that as soon as Wanda kind of like had the realization that she doesn't belong here, she instantly threw her out. And you know it was her that did it because of like the red smoke. I don't know if we want to call it smoke, but that's how her powers were portrayed with the whole Stork situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was clearly Wanda that literally threw her out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely seems like she's some type of agent that's trying to get information from her, maybe. She's being a little bit weird about the babies.
Well, but
I
then
don't
she slipped
know.
up when Wanda was talking about her brother, right? Because she said
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
brother was killed by Ultron, and that's what caused Wanda to like snap out
Yeah.
of whatever was happening. So, I don't know. I don't really have any theories other than that because I don't know any other like background to like the Marvel universe and especially Sword. So,
This is one, okay, especially who this person is. You would have to do a complete shot in the dark to get this right, to know who she is based off the other
Would
movies.
we know? Like we've seen this character
You,
before?
we have seen this character before, yes.
is it Nick Fury's daughter?
No. So one last thing on this, because again, I want to keep me and Zoe from just giving it away. But
Is it Captain Marvel's friend's daughter?
yes.
It is not. Okay,
Yeah.
the only other black guy. Like, really?
Yeah. It wasn't that hard,
That's
you
sadly, it
guys.
wasn't that hard.
I forgot
Yes.
about him.
So then-
New Captain America's daughter?
So then
No.
So then what
Well,
year does
no,
this take
not
place
this
in?
black guy.
Keep in
Not
mind,
this black
No.
guy. Captain Marvel's friend's daughter.
Oh! I thought you said Captain America. Okay.
oh no.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And Captain Marvel, keep in mind that was in the 90s, so it's been like 20, 30 years.
Okay,
She's that
that's
age,
fair.
Yeah, it's
I'll allow
happening
it.
now-ish, basically.
Well
Yeah.
done, Cake.
Yeah, so this time warp that they're in is completely fictional. Like they're not actually in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s.
Yeah, I think we could confirm that with
Doubt it.
what we see when Geraldine / Monica, we could, I guess, now say her name, when she comes out of the bubble, whatever it is very obviously like this is modern day. Everything is normal. It's just whatever's happening in the bubble. At least that's how I'm reading it.
Mhm.
Whatever's happening in the bubble is separate from the rest of the universe right now. Everyone else is kind of in agreement here?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I spoiled it, but yeah, when you start thinking about like the Marvel Universe black characters, it
That is
limits
kind
it.
Honestly,
kind of creates some
everywhere on the
problems.
internet tells you where it's at anyway. Everyone on the internet will tell you. We talk about it like it's a given that we all know, which is why I got spoiled. So don't even worry.
because like she's already like this is a spoiler for something like 2 years in the future. She's going to be in Captain Marvel too. That's another reason why it's already confirmed that this is all happening. But another thing I want to go off of that, basically because of the fact that all of this happened after the reveal that Geraldine knows about Ultron, do we think that it was a situation where Wanda kicked her out because she knows too much? Or Wanda, I'll save my theory for after. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about what caused Geraldine to get out of here.
Well, I think it was just that Wanda saw her as a threat, right? She wasn't just another town, what is it called? Townsperson? Like a community member. It was obvious that she knew things she shouldn't know, and did not belong in this fictional world. So she had to go. Perceived threat.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where where I was with that is the like Wanda's volunteering information about her brother, but there's only so far she's willing to remember,
Mm-hmm.
which is why she kicked her out because she made her remember too much.
Mm-hmm.
And Cake?
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word threat. I guess kind of, but I see it more as Wanda has most likely built this world as a alternate reality because she does not want to deal with whatever was happening. So she doesn't want to talk about painful memories. Like as soon as that got brought up, she's like, you got to get out of here. Like I am not here for this. I am here to live a happy life with my husband and my babies. We're going to be normal and fit in. Nothing bad is going to happen.
And that is actually exactly where I'm going with this. I think it's a matter of this is all a defense mechanism. She's dealt with so much heartache through everything we've seen of her in the MCU so far, and this is her trying to escape reality to an extent. So I think that's it exactly, that when she's reminded of her brother's death, she's like, no, this is my happy place. You can't be here if you're going to say these things.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. But it does lend the question of who sent Geraldine or why is she there?
But we have seen Sword in past episodes, right? At the monitors and stuff. So clearly they're involved, but in what capacity? Are they just observing, or have they caused this to happen, or are they trying to fix it? Who knows?
And are they good or bad?
Who could say? Probably bad.
Can I segue into another thing that's
Yes.
related to this?
Yes. What is it?
So I was obsessed with the hexagons that are happening everywhere in the show. There's like the hexagon shape is everywhere. You see it in like the opening credits. You see it in the end credits from the last episode. You see it in the stars apparently in the second episode. I didn't see it, but apparently you do.
There's even
And I was
just
looking
with
it
the
up,
number six.
and they are but the hexagon is the symbol for AIM, which is another company that is also potentially terrible. That is like you kind of talk about it in Iron Man 3 apparently, and I don't remember that much, but their logo apparently has the hexagon, or like a newer logo that's been perceived has the hexagon. Also, their uniforms in the comics very much look like the Beekeeper's outfit.
Oh.
This is
That's all I
very
know, but yeah.
Yeah. AIM is advanced idea mechanics, and they're all these super scientist, evil people, basically. Yeah, it was the company that the bad guy, Pierce in Iron Man
Hawthorne?
3 worked for. No, when he was creating the extremist program and everything. But yes, that does connect back there. I honestly completely forgot about AIM and the fact that they've been in these movies.
Is AIM an acronym? What does it stand for?
Advanced idea mechanics. Or at least that's one version it stood for. Like Sword and Shield have stood for different things over the years, especially the MCU versus the comics and stuff. So it could be slightly different versions. Does anyone else have any other things outside of what we've talked about here, or the number 6 and hexagons, or even anything else going off that? Let's start with Munch.
The neighbor seems to be losing his mind. Cutting
Herb, yeah.
Cutting through the fence, and not even like
Herb's
a wood
not having a
fence.
good time.
Yeah, he's not having a good time. Like it was like a concrete fence, cutting through it with his hedge trimmers, which also is not physically possible. But I'm not gonna get into that. It was just like, yeah, Herb's losing it a little bit. But yeah, there was a lot of really interesting things happening with the side characters like that. And then the doctor, who was like, yeah, we're going on a trip. We're going to Bermuda. And then at the end, he's like, actually, I don't think we're going to make it. Because you know how no one escapes a small town? Is that
Yeah, the
what he
thing about
said?
small towns is they're so hard to escape.
Yes. Yes. And said it like very like ominous. So, I don't know. It's like maybe Wanda's powers aren't really having the hold that they should on these people, or maybe they're like, I don't know, it's too much. I don't know. I'm just saying that it seems like some people are kind of like realizing that something's not right, or they're acting very strangely.
Yeah, I think that's totally a thing where it's hard to say sometimes how much anyone here is in on it versus under a spell versus if that spell is waning, if that's the case. And
That's it.
do you guys know the term uncanny valley?
Yes.
It's kind of this idea of when something looks so close to real but is slightly off that it becomes unnerving in how different it is in its closeness. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the creepiness, or I want to call it like almost horror in this show, is like the stuff with Herb there, where he's this just super happy neighbor who's trimming his hedges, and then he's going down into
And he's going
the
too
fence
far,
and
and it just like, yeah, it just changes all of a sudden to being a normal interaction to being like, something's off. Like, this is not quite right. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting. Just so many questions. I don't like watching shows and having questions. This is why I don't start shows until there's like 7 seasons. Because then I can just binge watch all of them and I don't have to wonder and speculate.
But that's the whole point of this show, so it's perfect. This is why we have UNTV.
Yeah.
And, Cake, do you have anything you really want to call attention to from this episode?
Honestly, not really. I didn't love it as much as the first two. I don't know. I feel like because it was in living color, I feel like a lot of the symbolism was lost on me. Like I like the black and white, the simplicity of it, which sounds kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. It was an okay episode. I thought it was fairly obvious that she was going to have twins. Clearly something weird was going on there.
I did not catch that. I did not see that coming at all. And I did not even make the connection that she was a twin until it was literally said. And then I'm like, oh right. She was a twin too.
I almost said something about her having twins last week, and then I was like, nope, can't say this yet.
I don't know. I did not see it coming at all. I was like Vision, just shocked.
Oh no, twins.
Apparently, that was actually a moment taken right from the comics, where when she gave birth, even the doctors and everyone believed she was only having one kid, and it was like this last second thing where it's like, oh no, crap, there's another one coming out.
I mean, back in the day when they didn't have like ultrasounds and stuff, that did happen. But yeah.
Yeah, I think when it happened in the comics, I don't know the exact date, but I want to say it was in the 80s or 90s.
They definitely had ultrasounds in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, this was more of a magical thing than a not having the technology kind of situation.
Anyways, sorry to interrupt you, Cake. I did not piece that together at all.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine episode. I feel like it was kind of a filler episode. Yeah, we got a little bit of progress, like we said, with the neighbors, with Geraldine, but overall, not a lot happened. But maybe I'm just comparing that to last week when we were able to watch 2 episodes in a row, so it was just so much more, where now it's just 1 episode. So I could be completely off base, and you guys can tell me to pound sand if you want.
Never. Everyone gets their own opinion here.
Yeah, and I do think you're onto something with it being 1 episode versus 2, because I think if we were to watch episodes 1 and 2 much more separated, I don't think a lot has happened in any individual episode, except maybe like a pilot always does a lot of heavy lifting because it's got to set up everything. But aside from that, like I feel like we've only gotten these little tidbits here and there. But yeah, last week when we got to watch 2 at the same time, it was like, oh, it's twice as much stuff.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah. Maybe I just need to watch all 3 of them now in a row. And then I'll be like, wow, that was a really good episode.
You guys, that's why you wait till there's 7 seasons. And then you just watch everything at once. Hello?
What did everyone think of the commercial in this one?
Oh, Hyrdra soap?
Hyrdra soap with a K.
Soap.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it was the second Hyrdra product in a row, but...
It felt a little too much on the nose for me, but hey, we get it. It's Hyrdra.
100%. I think it's a red herring. I think it's supposed to be throwing us off, so we're like, Hydra's behind this. It's not. It's not going to be Hyrdra.
Scribbling furiously. Hyrdra!
Although there is a thing, if we want to talk about Hyrdra, where when Phil is being asked by Dottie if she looks fat, and then the power goes out, and he's like, "Oh, thank God." Fun little moment. I just wanted to make Munch roll her eyes at me. So he's reading the paper at this point, and there is a headline on this paper that says something along the lines of 2 fire hydrants at address something or other. And the way he folds the paper when he turns to look at her, it only shows 2 fire hydra on the headline. And some people are making a lot of this. And with this show, I'll put like some... Maybe there's credence to this. Maybe it's nothing. Yeah.
There's no way
I
that's
believe that
just
was intentional.
there's no way that's a coincidence. But again, what Cake said, it might just be a red herring, right?
Yeah. But the one thing I'm seeing as like slight differentiation between last week and this week is last week what episode 2, I guess, sorry. Was primarily about Strucker. Sure, it had Hydra written on the watch, but it was about Baron von Strucker, the guy who gave them the powers. And this one was entirely about Hydra. And I think this one, because it's Hydra Soak, Release the Goddess Within or something like that. I think this was specifically about Hydra giving the powers too. So, because we're going through her history in some way in these commercials. I think that's clear.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then I want to toss this out here. I don't think this is at all a thing, but I saw it and I think it's ridiculous. So I want to share it with you guys. Some people are apparently theorizing that because the wording of it was like Release the Goddess, it is actually a reference to the next Thor movie where Jane Foster is taking over as Thor. It's like, that is too big a stretch. This thing is happening. It is Jane Foster is going to have the hammer and everything. I'm sorry for, I guess, spoilers to that, but that's how they announced the movie too.
Jane is coming back?
Yeah, Natalie Portman's coming back.
That's wild.
Yeah, when they were announcing Thor for it was her walking across the stage holding Mjolnir.
Diversity.
And
Women
Christian
can do things too.
Christian Bale's gonna be a bad guy. He's gonna be the God Killer.
Oh.
Guess what he likes to do?
Play with puppies?
Yeah, you nailed it.
I love Christian Bale, so I'm actually really excited about that.
Oh, they couldn't give that role to a woman?
Well, one of the Thor movies had a female antagonist.
Yeah, their sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was related to that.
It was nepotism that made her be able to be the villain.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? Oh,
I agree with you in theory, but not your exact point. I'll give you that.
Nepotism.
That's okay. You don't have to agree with me.
Oh, that's funny. Zoe,
Anyway.
did you have anything we haven't talked about?
Zoe, I think you might need to.
Not really.
Put it in for a sec.
I got one last thing that I noticed that's not.
That felt so sudden.
Ah, that's okay. Technical
Am I here? Am I here now?
difficulties. You're
Am I
here.
here now?
All good.
Yeah, I was saying I don't really have anything specific, nothing that's like super important, but I thought it was interesting that Vision was the one that was running fast in this one. That was his power today, when his Wanda's brother was the one that was fast. And then she mentions him.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting.
That's an interesting
And
point.
it's like figures with the theory that she makes him like she's in charge of what he does in her world.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting that she probably was missing her brother at this point in time.
I'm gonna toss this out here. Just there is a fact for comic book nerds that I kind of want to say, but I'm not going to say just in case it ends up mattering later on. But Speed, her brother, thinks that might matter later.
I love how you're bringing something up while also not really bringing it up. So now we're all just like, what?
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna roll with this.
Fantastic.
Great.
A quick little thing I want to call attention to. One of my favorite little jokes in here was just how they covered up pregnancy in all of the silly sitcom-y ways, where it's just like, well, we put the actress in a giant jacket, or she's holding a bowl of fruit, or she's holding a vase, and no one can tell she's pregnant with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, it had some fun
I
like
enjoyed it.
kitschy moments, which I meant to say this last week, but we see that a lot when Wanda's like using her powers, right? To like cook dinner or set up the nursery or like doing that painting and stuff. Like I don't know how to say this right, but like the movement of the items is very like fake TV movement.
Yeah.
And I know that's very intentional, but I thought it was a very like it was awesome that they actually did it like that. So it seemed like it was just part of the show. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Well,
that
it was a
thought
thing
made
that
sense.
happened in the previous episode that we didn't mention, but when she's like levitating the things when she's cooking, apparently the way they did it with there was a crew member just dangling things above her
Of
the way they
course.
would have done it
Of
back then.
course.
So yeah,
And that's exactly
I
what it
love
looked
it.
like. So to like have that
Yeah.
commitment to do that so it looked like a show from the
Mhm.
60s or the 70s. Yeah. I just think it's great. It's a fun little addition.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have straight up said that the show is mostly like a love letter to television, and I think they're really following through on that for the most part, especially sitcom television.
Well, yeah. There's not a lot of crime dramas happening.
We'll see. Maybe that'll be the season finale.
Maybe. Reality show? Is it going to be a reality?
Some people have been joking about how they really want to see an Office episode of WandaVision.
We already got an Office episode. Vision is inputting. No, what is he doing? Computing inputs and outputs?
Yeah.
he does something with the computer and just presses things. That is all I know.
So good. So good.
Does it like a machine.
How
shocking.
dare you?
And one last thing I want to make sure I bring up here is what seems to be the progression in what we're seeing of Wanda's powers. Because in the first episode, for the most part, we're only seeing her move things, aside from, say, like the chicken that she first cooks with her powers and then turns to eggs. And then with the second episode, she's straight up making things appear, like, say, the whole rope and pulley to make it look like Vision's flight is fake, or when she turns the when she makes the mirrors appear and stuff. There's all that going on. But in this one, she's creating life.
Yes.
Because we have the butterflies that become real all of a sudden. She's creating the stork. What do you guys think about what's going on with how her powers are being shown to be more powerful to us?
So does that kind of go back to the idea that something is controlling her in this space, and maybe she's working out a way to access or gain access to more of her powers as she breaks free or loosens the grip that they have on her? I don't know, maybe it's something like that.
That could be something really interesting. Cake, you look like you were going to say something before she did.
I was just gonna say maybe she just really likes butterflies.
That's also very possible. Zoe, you have any thoughts?
I don't know. That's all I got.
I got nothing.
Yeah, there's so many things in this show. I feel like it could be something we could really read into. It could very well be something like Munch is saying, or it could just be how it's happened that we've seen her powers happen to have this kind of progression to it, and we won't know until it's all done if what had a purpose and what was just, well, that's what happened in the episode.
Right, and maybe like we've said, none of this is real, so she's not even actually creating life. Like it's just in her mind, or it's a alternate reality, or it's a dream state or whatever. So
Maybe she is in some way healing from something. So as time goes on, she is getting stronger. So that's
Maybe.
why her powers are getting more.
I like that, especially with, like, we know that this is starting from such a dark place. What could have brought her to this? That could be a really interesting thing if the show ends up going in that direction of it all being about her having to find a way to heal and then maybe even give up Vision at the end of it. Maybe it's all about her moving on. Maybe.
maybe that's a good point.
Maybe.
Oh, and I know I said the last thing was the last thing I wanted to make sure I brought up, but we also got one last. We got another version of her rewinding time. It wasn't as obvious this time that she did it, because last time she straight up said no, and we got a whole rewind sequence.
Yes.
This time it was Vision was suspicious, and then all of a sudden his scene replayed with different words,
which was very interesting, and it just goes to show that, like, yeah, it whatever this is not as stable as maybe Wanda thinks it is or wants it to be, right? We're seeing all these little cracks and fragments and stuff happening. So, yeah, interesting though.
All right. If anyone has any closing thoughts, like Zoe, let's start with you.
I wasn't prepared for this. I really like the song that played at the end, and it's been stuck in my head ever since.
Oh, interesting.
Because the song is called Daydream Believer.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's been stuck in my head this whole time.
Oh.
That is my closing thought.
I mean, I've had Yakety Yak stuck in my head for a week, so.
Not a bad thing.
I have no final closing thoughts.
Cake.
I don't know if I want to say that I liked it, but the whole sequence of the doctor explaining the stages of pregnancy with fruit to protect her female mind, or however he phrased it, I'm just like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because the thought of a papaya coming out of you is not terrifying.
No, it was a honeydew, actually, is what will come out.
Oh, and then a papaya.
Yeah, that was Vision's great joke.
So good. Papaya.
I love Vision dad jokes. That's so good.
He is fantastic, but also during the moment you're talking about there, Cake, I love Wanda's facial expression when the doctor's saying this. That's what makes that joke fantastic, because it's not just we're listening to the doctor say the stupid shit. It's she knows this is stupid, and we get to see her great face, which that was fantastic.
Yes.
Yep. That's my final thought.
I like it. You brought us back to some of the great comedy going on here, because in the end, this is a sitcom. It's a very weird sitcom, but it is a sitcom. And I think with that, we are coming to a close with the second episode of UNTV. I hope everyone got something out of this and maybe has other ideas on things to speculate on. Please be sure to leave any thoughts in the comments about what you think we got right, what you think we got wrong, other things we didn't even bring up.
Yeah, there's definitely way more we could talk about, but watch it yourself and let us know what you think.
I hope people are watching it themselves before watching this.
It'd be crazy if they don't, though. Just like, I wonder what this
Watch
show's
this
about.
first. Watch this first and then watch the episode.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting way to watch it, I think.
That's how I'm going to do it from now on.
Maybe what? Really?
How? I think you should just make it up. Just pretend you've seen it.
Yes, I can do it. How hard could it be? They're heading into the 80s. So what? Who cares?
Can we all dress up as the 80s next week, please? I'm on board for this one.
Sure.
Weren't you the one who said let's dress up like the 70s? And I don't think you've done anything.
I said we should, and I don't have any 70s things. I can definitely get on board with the 80s, though.
I think Cake is the most thematically dressed out of all of us. So well done, Cake.
Cake nailed it. She gets the special UNTV award this week.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.